Hey guys, hope you are all good and well. Today's presentation is one that I feel is really empowering, and that kind of word keeps cropping up. And when I'm trying to help people, it's not just about eating better. It's about how can we help that individual to lead a more fulfilling, active, happy lifestyle, and have better connections with their family, their children, the people at work, really encapsulating the whole parts, every part of their life. And I really truly believe that nutrition plays a huge role within that. And if we can start eating a particular way, we're not only just going to become healthier. We're not just going to look at changing our body composition with fat loss, but we're also going to, as I say, have better brain function, more focus, more energy, better well-being, and have a better connections with the people in our lives. So that's how powerful I believe this presentation and this work is. So we're looking at health for a lifetime. So what does long-term health through nutrition look like for the modern professional? And that's what we're going to break down today. That's what we're going to go into. I want to give you the tools, and I'm going to give you things throughout this presentation that you can quite easily go away and start to implement, or at least be more aware of, that are going to have a significant impact on your health and well-being and the connection that you can have with the people within your life and the opportunities that can come your way. So done right, I honestly believe that nutrition can increase your energy, focus, and your clarity, improve your cognitive function. And we're going to go into the more amazing studies that are showing what nutrition can do and stave off through healthy nutrition when it comes to cognitive function. Be more present with family, become a role model to your children, which for me is hugely powerful. Gain more career progression. So you can see it's all encapsulating. Nutrition done well is all encapsulating, and it touches, and it can touch and have a positive impact on all areas of your life. With that in mind, there's nothing set in stone, and we have to take things with a pinch of salt. And we have to, when we're hearing things, and this happens a lot, whether it's through social media, whether it's listening to friends or family, what they've done in the past and got what they perceive as results and made progress. We have to take this with a pinch of salt, because everyone is an individual. Everyone is different. Everyone is starting from a different place, and everyone has different goals. Everyone is dealing with different things within their lives. So, for example, we're going to take into consideration current health conditions, lifestyle conditions, stress levels, and the current knowledge of nutrition. All right, so whatever I say, I don't want it in this presentation, I don't want you to think, well, it has to be that way, or, I'm not doing it right. It simply isn't the case. We have to get to a point of where we can get in, where we can start making this progress, where we can start making a difference, and making these incremental changes and steps forwards. So basically, you've got to create it for yourself. So what are the problems that we are currently facing? There are going to be issues and barriers that can stop someone from eating better, that is going to have a positive impact on their life and their well-being. And this could be anything from time restraints. You're very, very busy, a lot going on with work, family, a lot of stresses around. Time can be a barrier. So we've got to find out how we can make things less time restrictive. All right, which is a huge one for a lot of people. They think they've got to be in the gym for a certain amount of time if they're going to be healthier. They have to do a lot of time in the kitchen and prep, which is simply not the case, but people can see a barrier as time. Low energy, so you make poor decisions. If you've got low energy, you're not going to make great decisions around food, in connection with family, or at work. So low energy is going to be a barrier. Food choices, what actually is going into your meals, is going to be a barrier. Poor food options, the availability of and options that you have readily available. And I believe that we can all make better choices if we just have a little bit more knowledge and a little bit more understanding. Starting unsustainable diets, that's going to be a huge barrier. It's going to restrict you. It's going to build poor relationships around food and particular food groups. Overwhelmed at work, as we know, high stresses, you're going to make poor choices with food. Not knowing what is suitable for you and your goals. All right, so we might not have the clear understanding of what is really good for me at my current point within my life, with everything that I've got going on. Where do I start? What's good for me? So there are some of the barriers that we are facing currently. Not only that, and this is my big point of today's presentation, where I find that most busy professionals find themselves, is on this daily roller coaster of energy. High energy, low energy. And this is because it can be quite easily to have a high increase of sugary foods, with that through snacks, poor cereals, chocolate, crisps, poor quality foods, poor quality snacks, and also just choices around the foods that we class as healthy, that have natural sugars in them, with particular fruits, starches like rice and potatoes, and carbohydrate options. And I need to say that there's nothing wrong with those foods, and there's a place for them. But done wrong, we can have this daily roller coaster of high energy, low energy, these glucose spikes when we have sugar intake, whether that's through those poor quality snacks, or whether it is from a certain fruit or carbohydrate. We're going to have a glucose spike. Sugar level is going to go up. Insulin production is going to go up. So your pancreas is going to create insulin to try and shuttle this glucose into the red blood cells. Now, if this is happening for a prolonged amount of time, day in, day out, from month to month, year to year, you're going to keep creating insulin where your pancreas is. But then these receptors on the red blood cells, they're going to diminish. They're going to stop working as efficiently. Therefore, then you could become insulin resistant. And then your body can't use this sugar, this glucose, for what your body's asking it to do, i.e. move, perform. And then it's going to store it as body fat. Okay? And not only that, you're going to have effects with your sleep, poor concentration, and that's that cognitive function again, bloating and inflammation, low mood, connection with family and friends, decision making, and even consistent high to low energy levels. So it has a profound effect. This roller coaster of high energy, low energy, sugar intakes, glucose spikes, pancreas creating insulin, constant day in, day out. So what we need to do is start looking at food, how it can support us with our energy, and start controlling these glucose spikes, and not asking for our pancreas to keep producing insulin all of the time. And the long-term effects of this, poor gut health, and I'm a big believer that all health really starts within the gut. You look after that gut microbiome, that gut health, how well it functions. It's going to have a huge effect on cognitive function and how you perform from day to day. You have also type 2 diabetes, which is a huge problem that this country and the Western countries are facing. And also the studies are out there to show that poor quality food, this high sugary glucose, high foods, are a factor of the amount of people suffering now with Alysymers or certain dementia. It's also obviously with lifestyle, obviously, but food and nutrition is playing a huge role in your cognitive function and how early you get the onset of Alzheimer's. And done correctly, we can really put that off. We can slow that, onset of dementia right the way down. So instead of getting signs of dementia when you've turned 60, it may be starting to show signs when you're 70, which I'm sure we can all agree is a better option. Daily independence of caffeine, so just trying to get through the day on caffeine, 4, 5, 6 cups of coffee, tea, whatever it may be. Higher risk of cancers, huge influx when poor quality food and lifestyle. It's like 90 to 95% of cancers have it because of poor nutrition. Low quality of life as we get older. So we may be living longer, but the quality of life is diminishing. So those are kind of long-term effects that poor eating can have with this, and particularly on this high roller coaster of high and low energy levels. So the foods that we need to start to avoid, and this isn't to say that we are never ever going to be able to eat a cookie ever again. It's never to say that we can't have a fruit juice. I'm not trying to say you can never eat bread again. But we need to be aware first and foremost of what are the triggering foods. So we're looking at processed foods such as cakes, cookies, your pastries, ice cream, sweets, particular sauces that you put on your foods, your dressings, cereal bars and low-fat products. Low-fat products might be lower in fat, but they're higher in sugar. Drinks such as cola, energy drinks, juices, sports drinks, sugar in hot drinks. And then you're looking at your starches. And please don't think I'm telling you can never eat fruit and veg again. But we're going to have a better understanding of where to place these. But certain fruits, such as bananas and apples, and vegetables, and rices and that kind of thing. Cereals, particularly a huge bad one for most people. Breads, savoury snacks such as sausage rolls, pies, instant noodles, which we see a lot of people consuming in the day, and microwavable meals. So these are the kind of foods that we need to be aware of. And again, it's not to say you can't eat them, but let's start moving towards these better foods, and we'll go into that in a moment. But it doesn't need to be this way. And here is how we can become healthier and empowered through nutrition. So, some quick wins. First and foremost, some quick wins. Look at your week like this, the 80-20 rule, and this is something I do with a lot of my clients. Look at your week, and can you get 80% coming from those single ingredient foods, whether it came out the ground, off a tree, out the ocean, or it ran across the ground. If you're vegetarian, this is doable as well. Out the ground, off a tree, you've got wide varieties that you can get your nutrition from. And then 20% coming from those foods you really enjoy, whether that's a dessert, whether that's having a meal out or having a takeaway. But looking across the week, and can you get 80% of your food from single ingredient foods and 20% from the foods that you really enjoy? A wide variety of foods. I'm a big advocate of not saying there's a good food or bad food. So again, a wide variety of proteins, carbohydrates, fats, fruit and veg. And that really plays into that next one. Colour is critical. So can we start working towards 4 to 5 colours on your plate? Now, this is naturally just going to increase your options and your variety within your food, okay, which is never a bad thing. Hydration makes all the difference. Almost seems a little bit too easy, a bit too simple to put in here, but it just plays a massive role in terms of your ability to function, concentrate, be active, your skin quality, even eye quality, focus, hair quality plays a huge role, and even how well you sleep. And then looking at placing food types to support your lifestyle. And this is going to be a big one. This is what we're going to look in next. So what does it look like? As I've said briefly, wide variety of proteins, natural fats. Fats are fuel. They're supportive for life. We need to get them into our nutrition. Fiber, such as fruit and veg. Carbohydrates to fuel your activity, family interaction and socializing. So we're going to place those carbohydrates where they're going to be utilized the best, where we're going to use them most. So let's look at more of a structure, where we're going to place these foods, how we're going to structure this into a busy lifestyle. So let's look at your breakfast first. So we want to make this breakfast up from proteins, fats and fiber, or berry-based fruit if it's like a cold breakfast. So, consuming this obviously when you're ready. It doesn't have to be the first thing you do in the morning. It could be later on in the morning if your lifestyle allows you to. But we're going to utilize foods such as eggs, yogurts, nut butters, lean bacon, whey protein, pea protein, fish, avocados, berries, and green veg such as spinach and kale. It's really important to get that nice dark, really dark green veg in there. That's not to say you can't have any carbohydrates in a breakfast, but you want to keep them minimal. And you want to keep them good, like a good quality. So if you are going to have a bit of bread, it might be some rye bread or it might be a bit of sourdough. But predominantly, we want to be looking at that breakfast as more protein, fats, and fiber. All right, now this is going to support your energy levels. It's going to bring you up, your energy levels up. It's going to keep that glucose spike as low as possible. And it's going to be packed with vitamins and minerals and support your health, your energy, and your focus. Okay, so breakfast, let's start pushing towards more protein, fats, and fiber. And it might be a case of just having a couple of options, a warm option in the morning, which might be a bit of egg. It may be, some fish or, whatever it may be. And then a cold option, which might be a yogurt with some nut butter, whey protein, and some berries in. Okay, so that's your breakfast. And then looking at lunch, we're looking at, again, some proteins, fats, and fiber. Let's get as much color on as we possibly can. Protein, keep it going because it's going to be very satiating, so it's going to keep you fuller for longer. And I just see protein as that macronutrient that is repairing. It's restorative. It's making sure that we're keeping hold of as much muscle mass as we can throughout our life to sustain us our quality of life. And this might be in the form of what I like to call a fatty salad. So there's nothing like seeing someone just eating some leaves. I mean, that's not really going to give you much at all, but we want to get a wide range of salad leaves in there. If we can get some dark greens in there, like spinach or even some broccoli as well, that would be awesome. Then making sure we got some protein source in there, whether that's chicken, chickpeas, eggs, obviously then we need to top that off with some natural fats, whether that's some nuts and seeds, extra virgin olive oil, and even nut butters. And making up that nice fatty salad. It's going to give you a whole range of different vitamins and minerals and nutrients, but also keep that energy level high, focus high, without spiking that glucose levels. Okay, could also be for keep it simple, previous night's dinner. All right, doing a little bit more in the evening time, then putting that in a Tupperware box, taking that to work, nice and easy. Obviously, just keeping out any carbohydrate that may have been in that meal on the previous night. Okay, and even you come out of the house and you haven't got anything, for whatever reason, you just haven't had time. Walking into Tesco's or Sainsbury's local, whatever it may be, and you could create that. You could pick up some chicken or, some chickpeas or whatever it is if you're vegetarian. You can get some salad, you can get some nuts and seeds, and you can create that fatty salad if you needed to. And now let's look at the evening meal. Now this is where we want to start bringing in some carbohydrates. All right, so we want to keep the proteins in here. We're getting some carbohydrates in and get the fiber in. All right. If we're looking at proteins, we're looking at red meats, fish, chicken, tofu, lentils, beans, that kind of thing. When it comes to carbohydrates, it may be rices, potatoes, pasta, sweet potatoes, and just finding something that works best for you. Some people may feel bloated and discomfort on a particular carbohydrate, but others, they feel fine. So finding what works best for you. And then really trying to look towards 4 to 5 colours on your plate. A wide variety of veg, broccoli, tomatoes, peppers, snap sugar peas, cauliflowers, and asparagus. As much colour as you can possibly get. And why are we bringing carbohydrates in here? Well, most likely we've had a long day. We want to sit down together with the family. We don't want to be eating different foods. One of the big things for me is if kids can start seeing, mom or dad eating differently, that's not healthy for me. We want to be eating together. It's simple, it's easy, and we bring up, children into the world that, that's what we do. That, and we don't necessarily, I can't eat carbs because I'm on a diet. We don't want that kind of language used, and we shouldn't be using that. It also might be that we have trained and we need to replenish, and carbohydrates post-workout is going to be great. Or we may be going to train. I'll do some form of exercise, whether that might be just going for a walk or going to the gym. Getting some carbohydrates is going to give us some fuel to perform within that specified activity. So your evening meal is going to be made up of protein, carbohydrates, and your fiber. Now, I wanted to challenge you a little bit. I did some quick wins at the start of this presentation, but here is a little challenge for you. Can you work towards 20 plant-based ingredients per day? Now, what you might want to do is kind of be aware of, what am I currently consuming? So if it came off a tree at the ground or something like that, how many plant-based ingredients are you currently consuming? Now, some people might only be eating 10. Vegetarians might be a bit closer to 15, but if you start pushing that towards 20, you'll see a significant difference in your general health and well-being. Massive, huge. And make sure that you are utilizing your herbs and your spices. Okay, so I like to, when I create my lunch, I use as many different herbs and spices as I can. Whether that's some turmeric, mixed herbs, some cumin, paprika, salt, pepper, particularly like Himalayan salt, whatever good quality salt. Using as much as I possibly can and making it as colourful as I possibly can. All right, so working towards 20 plant-based ingredients per day. Protein within each meal, and that's not to say you have to. And if you don't, then it's not a good meal, but whenever you can. Protein, fats, and veg to kickstart your day. That's the first half of your day into the middle part of your day. You want protein, fats, and veg within your meals. And then at the latter part of the day, more carbohydrates to support you. Family time at the end of the day, and again, looking to get at least 3 to 5 colours on your plate. So that's a little challenge for you that you can start looking to move towards. You're not necessarily going to hit it straight away, but keeping that in mind, and you're going to be feeling a hell of a lot better if you can start moving towards these points. And just to round up, really, what is that I kind of consider as that long-term health, and what's going to support that? Well, I think we need to get educated around sustainable and supportive nutrition. Then we need to move away from the quick wins and quick fixes, and just start utilizing and being educated around what real good healthy nutrition looks like. Supportive, not restrictive. Okay, I think that lends itself towards that diet culture again. What can support us, not restrict us? Is it long-term change? And that's what we need to be looking for. Positive changes through energy levels. So we're not just looking at weight loss. We're looking at energy levels, sleep quality, concentration, your focus, your happiness. These are all positive changes. Also, sleep quality. If sleep's getting better, we're onto a good thing. A focus and clarity to perform. That's performing all aspects of your life. Have a positive impact on your family, and make sure fats are in your nutrition. Fats have got a bad rep over the years, and we need to make sure that we're utilizing them because they have such a profound effect on our health and our ability to function and perform. So there you go, guys. Hope that's been helpful. If you have any questions, then please connect that to wherever you can, wherever you're consuming this presentation, whether that's on YouTube, Spotify, whether it's on social media. If you can leave a comment, you've got any questions, then please let me know. But I hope that's been helpful. And there is so much power within nutrition. So let's start utilizing it. Let's start realizing it. And let's start leading more empowered lives. Cheers, guys. Speak soon.